going on, guys? Welcome to our new episode of Shahs and King. I'm out here with Weapon X and Keith, and today we actually got some guests. We got Jason Ellsworth, Matt, and right, is it Matt?
Matt?
Matthew Ellsworth.
Matt,
Yeah.
and I
Try
think your
that.
name. Well, what was it?
Try that.
Try that.
No, try to say my name.
Okay.
Try to fuck up his
you were-
Italian name.
You were Bernardo in the movie, right?
Yes, that's
Let's
easy.
go with that. That's fine.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, so these guys are basically the three main characters of Bad CGI Sharks, right? Bad CGI
Yep.
Sharks.
Yes.
And I watched the movie earlier today actually. I actually really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it was a lot of good energy. Like, it was one of those things where, like, like when you're listening to a song or you're watching or like just like looking at some form of content or art, and like the people are having good time making this piece of content, so it just brings you that good energy. I can kind of tell you guys had a lot of fun doing this, and
That's funny because we were actually miserable the whole time.
Yes.
Were you
I had
really?
no idea what we were doing.
No, actually, we've gotten that comment a couple of times, and it's awesome to hear because I think we're all a bunch of fucking goofballs, so we wanted that effect. So
Yeah,
nice to hear that.
it definitely like caught my attention from the very beginning, and I enjoyed it. So like what sparked the idea? Because I know Jason, you used to rap, or do you still rap, or?
I mean, we're all kind of, I guess, stagnant more than we'd like to be in these current times. But yeah, that's how I know our buddy Weapon X. I actually met Mateo and my brother before I even started rapping out here. The idea came about because we watch a lot of shitty shark movies. Well, we watch a lot of shitty movies in general, but I don't know if the general public understands how many absolutely shitty shark movies there are. Now, Mateo is a connoisseur of bad movies, and him and my brother actually brought me into this world. Guys, why don't you tell them about your mutual love of binging this crap?
We love binging this crap.
Basically it.
The man is succinct.
Eventually started coming to each other with, Mateo's just a Rolodex of any movie from any decade. So he's able to shoot out so many titles, and I was able to offer a few bad movies that me and friends back in the day watched and we just kind of goof on. So I think we just found that common love and interest in watching these bad movies and dissecting them. And Mateo's also a huge connoisseur of puns and jokes, and pretty much just threw out, hey, why don't we make a movie and just call it Bad CGI Sharks? And pretty much from there, it just was born, and we just ran with that.
So when you guys talk about like your love for bad movies, is it like you guys actually believe these movies are bad, but it's like they're bad on purpose, so that's why you enjoy it, kind of thing? Like, like when you're listening to certain like subgenres of rap, like a Lil B, right? Like, he's not good, but it's still kind of fun to listen to. Or like,
I'm the only one that's going to get your rap references in this group. But I do know what you're talking about, and that's actually an excellent question because I think there's several different categories. We all know there's so bad it's good.
right.
And I will say that most of the movies we binge, I think a lot of the inspiration for this movie came from, we saw so many shark movies that were so bad they were bad. Like, I love creature features, I love monster flicks, I love that stuff, and I wanted them to be amazing. But like a lot of times, 5 minutes in, I tell the guys, I can't do this, let's turn it off. So we never set out to make a bad movie, but we were inspired by
It just happened on its own.
Yes.
It was just a natural, magical process that our movie became shit. But yeah, we were disappointed in how the movies weren't as fun as we wanted them to be. I mean, when you have these titles like Ice Sharks, Avalanche Sharks, Toxic Sharks, Jersey Shore Shark Attack, Beverly Hills Shark Attack, like, you want them to be a fucking fantastic festive cheese, but often they're just kind of straight up boring. So it's a good classification you make. There are ones that are actually fun because they suck. We seem to have a masochistic streak and watch a lot of them that suck just because they fucking suck.
Also because they let us make jokes in between. That's also one of the things, because we, as we're watching it, we improvise our own dialogue pretty much. We just like hear a line and say, why did you say that, or whatever. We start to comment, because in the 50s, the horror movies were made with talking parts because they were destined to drive-ins and stuff like that, where you would go out with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, you make out, and then every now and again you would see the monster. These one are for television, so they have, let's fill 7 minutes before the next commercial break. So we have 6 minutes of mindless talking, and then the monster arrives. And then we do it again and again and again, then we kill the monster.
And it's all boring.
And it's all boring. And we were trying to see, is it possible to do something that is not that dull in between the monsters? And so
And the answer was no.
Exactly. Also because due to budgetary constriction, we didn't have a monster. It just went to.
Yeah, that's interesting. Exactly how much was the budget for the movie? Because I know that's an interesting fact.
Take it away, Matteo. You know
Matteo can give you the exact amount to the penny.
Is $6,257.34.
Listen, that's very impressive. Wow. That's very impressive because I'm like me and
Weapon, that much?
No, because listen, me and Weapon, like we were trying to film a music video out in LA, and we were talking to this guy, and he wanted to charge us between $5 to $10 grand.
Well, if you want to do it well, yes. We just wing it.
So for $6K, like the shit you guys did, I was like impressed. I'm like, yo, like this, I can tell like a good amount of effort went into this, and I can again like I enjoyed the message, like this idea that like as you grow older, like creativity kind of like you're kind of told that like you have to grow up and like put it all away and like get a real job. And that was like the big difference between Jason and Matt is like he was like the twin brother that were you guys twins in the movies or just like
people assume we are in real life, so yeah sure.
I think Jason,
we've gotten that our whole life.
Yeah, like Matt was like the brother that like grew up, got the 9-to-5 job. He was miserable, wasn't really talking to anyone other than that girl at work. And then like but then there was like Jason who like in normal society standards, like people would call him like a bum, but like
like in real life.
He wasn't a stretch,
but he was
a lot of inspiration
acting.
But he was actually like very happy. Like he was like a very happy, like go-getter kind of character. And I don't know, like I just think that's like a really interesting, like because like I think in the real world you kind of have a similar thing going on where like people grow up and they get that mediocre 9-to-5 job. They don't really have like any purpose, no passion, no nothing, and they're just they kind of fall into depression and like even Matt's character is like the interview's like, why do you want this job? He's like, well, because my boss told me I'm supposed to want this job. So I know I kind of enjoyed the messages.
The message,
Matthew. That's amazing to hear because. Going back to how boring these movies are, we wanted to be like, how can we put something in besides just sharks and dumb jokes? And to get that feedback that there was actually some kind of message, which we tried to do about keeping up your creativity, is probably the best thing we could hear. Because look, all of us, I think at this point, me and my brother are in our fucking late 30s at this point, and Mateo's in his 50s. Like society says we're past our prime, but fuck them, we're still doing it. And I think that despite the struggles that we all face of trying to do it and still having a day job, that we'd be even more dead inside if we weren't at least trying. Right. So to hear that translated and you enjoyed that part of it is amazing. And as much as we want to make people laugh, I'd say it might even be better that message actually translated to someone. We love creative people. We love artists. I was just talking to X the other day, sharing our frustrations about wanting to get back on stage. To me, creative people, my friends and stuff, that all fuels me very much so. Matteo and Matthew, having a group to actually bounce ideas off of fuels me. So absolutely, man. The fact that you got that from that is probably the best thing we could hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. And then, and I did have the laugh just watching like the sharks like just like swim around the streets and and like that scene where like she's in the office and talking to their girl and she's like, so much intercourse. I was like, what the fuck is this? But it did its job. Like I laughed. I thought it was awesome.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. So how long did it take you? Like, was it all filmed in one day, or?
No,
It was
21
21.
days, 21 almost consecutive days. Almost. We had
I
a
only
couple
asked because
of,
like you were wearing like the same clothes like throughout the entire movies. That's why I thought maybe.
that's
We
usually also
wanted to keep it
An illusion.
Yeah, we want to keep it almost like a 24-hour period where we can kind of almost like the cartoon character effect of wearing that same signature uniform almost.
Yeah.
and also
A lot
because oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I talked too
Oh,
much.
it was mostly the fact that being a first-time directors and everything, even if we had an amazing crew, but probably unconsciously we did also that to remove a lot of problems in continuity and trying to remember.
Yeah.
Now we're filming today or yesterday, or so. Just as I do this one day.
And also, I just really wanted to wear really short shorts.
Yes.
Was that for Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, that was a direct influence. I wanted my balls to be sticking out like hers were on the VMAs.
Tell us more.
or like that cannibal Army Hammer.
Oh yes, Army.
Word, man, word. So I mean, so I gotta ask, like, why shark movies? Like, so you guys like really connected over bad shark movies, like, and Jason and Matt, are you guys like brothers in real life, or?
Oh yeah, it's not just acting.
We're stuck together.
Yeah, yeah. So no, that's interesting. Like, because like, how do you guys like come together on something that like I think most people would find random, like shark movies? Like, how do you guys like find that connection?
I think it was at least growing up, sharks are always pretty big for us. I know Mateo too, being a huge monster movie fan and Jaws fan. And I think we found a unique subgenre of the cheesy horror movies with the shitty shark movie genre that we felt that there was enough of an interest there, not just from us, but from the world, that we could create something unique and actually have a statement on these films as well as our own message kind of mixed into it. But yeah, I think we even joked about like we could easily have done bad CGI octopus, bad CGI dinosaurs. But sharks definitely hit a chord with all of us.
And with people. And
yeah.
it seems that is a go-to monster. You say, okay, usually it's mindless, it just swims and eats. That's it. And pretty much everybody is afraid of them.
I also don't think any other creature subgenre has anywhere near the quantity that sharks do. Like, again, I'm so deep into this nerd world now that I forget that most people probably don't know there are literally, not exaggerating, over 100 of these shark movies. Well over 100.
I have a few dozen over there. If you want.
That's wild.
Mind you, most not good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also because bad CGI pangolins didn't have the same ring.
Yeah. Nowadays, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
It makes for good merch too. I've seen so many things that people have made for you since the movie has been released, including like shark dolls and shark like different paraphernalia that have been sent to you as gifts, and it just makes for good marketing.
We were so geeked to see the little knit versions of our sharks, man. Yeah. It's I mean, everyone loves sharks, and to be real as fuck, we would never have a chance in hell of making an indie brother movie. Like, this is about our relationship as brothers and our creativity. Who gives a fuck? Like, if we didn't stick some sharks and dumb jokes in there, we would have never gotten an eighth of the attention we've gotten because of this. So the sharks, while we love them, kind of help us sneak in Trojan horse like the rest of the emotional crap we wanted to put in there.
Yeah, at the signing, you even had a guy that dressed up as a shark.
Yes.
I took a picture of him trying to eat me.
Yes.
So I know, I feel like, and because I didn't see it until today, but like it definitely feels like something that will be a cult classic.
We are hoping, man. We've been very lucky so far to find people who say things far kinder than we ever thought possible.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably, like anything else, take a little bit of natural breathing time to let people find it and discover it. But I like to think, give it maybe a solid decade, we might see a little actual niche in the cult movie game, hopefully.
Or maybe if I die prematurely, then it will become just like something.
We're all waiting for it, man.
I know. I'm waiting too, but
that's the spark.
I know. I'm Italian. I'm lazy naturally, so it's gonna take me longer.
You could do a crossover. It'd be like part 2, bad CGI sharks in the room.
Yes.
I would pay to see that shit.
Oh, classic.
It's
So
gonna
they're
be
like
like
in the same universe, yes.
the last Jurassic World. Also, that it takes place in a house, and we just like take those elements and then we put Tommy Wiseau in the middle.
Yeah,
CGI
a shark.
Yes.
Well, what the hell happened with Tommy? Was supposed to have a
Don't
shark
chew me,
flick.
don't chew me. Hey, hi, Jason.
Yeah, he was supposed to have his own shark movie coming out around the same time as ours.
Really?
Big Shark or
Big
so,
Shark,
whatever
but
it was.
never heard anything about it. But.
I was actually worried he was gonna. It was announced right around the time ours was, and he's such a bigger name in underground cinema, such a massively bigger name, of course. I was worried it was gonna steal our thunder, and then nothing.
There's only one trailer and one behind the scene of that trailer, and that's it. So far, at least.
We're waiting for it.
Yep.
You know something?
Can't beat Sharktopus at least.
Sharktopus is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. All the
know
classic sci-fi ones.
You know, like something I realized, like I kind of like appreciated, like the movie was very self-aware, where like I think there was like this one scene where like Bernard comes in, and you know he just Bernardo, yeah, he has like he like basically like puts a list up on the screen of like the order of the events of like this is how the rest of the movie is gonna go, like, you know, like the animal's gonna kill someone you love, then you have to get revenge on the animal, and like it's like a parody in a way, right? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that part of I like to think if I learned anything from binging movies with these guys, it was that what makes something fail. And so we figured if we can let the audience in on the fact, like, look, we know we're low budget. We know how these movies can be tedious and follow a formula. We know all of our flaws. It would give us that much more of a chance to actually get the audience our side to laugh. Because I feel like when you're a low budget movie, you kind of have to convince people you not matter, but like that you get it, like that it's not crap,
you know,
like get them on your
your
side.
place kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like by pumping it full of that, we hopefully had a better shot at getting people into it. And my brother is just all about the self-deprecating humor with it. I mean, all of us are, but I feel like Matthew in general is always quick to like knock us down in a humorous way. So it fit well, and hopefully it gets people to know that not only are we stupid, but we know we're stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there is a version of the script that you will never see, hopefully, that we wrote before, that we were saying, oh, let's make it an ultra self-aware movie. And we winked so hard that the two of us went up at Cedar Sinai with a lesion to the eye, because we were just like, every two things was like, you get it? We know we're in a parody, wink, wink.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yes. And so we realized, okay, let's just like step back a little bit. And then pretty much Matthew left for a while, came back with a structure that is the movie that he watched today. And we just like put in a few of the jokes, but we were trying to be self-aware of being self-aware, if it makes sense. We didn't want to just
very meta.
There was even like an intermission phase, right? Like,
yeah,
like with the game show, and then you had the guy who was like, "Yo, like, does anyone actually give a shit?"
Yeah.
Dale, that actor is our favorite. Yeah, Matthew pushed for that hard. I think Matthew, you had that idea since from the very beginning of the talk show.
The intermission.
Wait, Dale is the producer,
or not even just the entire idea of the Bernardo show.
Oh yeah, I think so. Like I think we were expecting this being our first film and having no experience of actually making a film, or at least more so me and Jason Mateo's worked on more films than we have. We were trying to kind of almost dissect the entire just medium of film, and we the same thing with the lines of tropes on the screen about what's going to happen next in the script. We kind of did a lot of that and kind of dissected it as we went, as we were kind of learning, and as we were wanting to kind of make a statement on creativity and writing and the whole creation process.
Absolutely.
And I feel like with the Bernardo show, we knew we would have kind of a litmus test to see if people were with us for the weirdness. Like, I feel like the Bernardo show is something where had we had a major studio, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? You've got to cut it. And I feel like because of that, especially you, Matthew, were always adamant about having it in there, because I think it's a really good, like, are you weird enough to stick with this interlude? And that's why, at least that's why I always liked it. It's kind of like a comedic fuck you to a degree.
Yeah.
Which oddly enough occurs almost at the hour.
Yeah.
Just like by happenstance, we didn't plan it like that, but just
when
like
most of the audience is already asleep anyway.
Yes, or have left.
They've given up already at this point. It doesn't matter. Just put whatever on the screen. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I heard that there were, prior to you selling on one, there were actually 3 final versions of the script.
Yeah. I think the first 2 were very, I think if we had filmed either of the first 2, we would be like, look, we're happy we got a movie made, but even we would find it tiresome because it's just such a nonstop barrage of jokes. And even though
it's breaking the fourth wall just constantly, whereas in this one, we kind of gave Bernardo that role to break the fourth wall, speak to the audience, but not have it too consuming of the entire script and every character breaking through.
So blame it on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all this guy's fault.
You are the muse.
Yes.
So what was the overall reception of this? I saw like, I saw some funny reviews on IMDb where someone said it was better than The Godfather.
Yeah, dude.
Like that's very impressive. That's very impressive. So like,
the funny thing about that is I kind of go back and forth between, like, there's a lot of classic films I've definitely been like, of course I've seen it. And then there's a lot of classic films where people are like, dude, how the hell can you be a movie nerd and not seen this? I hadn't seen The Godfather, and I have a buddy who considers it, just top tier. And I remember I made a post being like, oh, dude, it was boring. I couldn't get through it. He was like, what? Blasphemy, I'm going to block you. And then when I got that review and they were like, yeah, The Godfather's boring. Bad CGI Sharks is better. I was like, take that, motherfucker. But I feel like, I feel like that guy was, as far as I could take it, he was both kind of trashing our movie for being stupid, but also being like, no, honestly, in the end, like, I was more entertained than I was by The Godfather. So it's interesting. I think we talk about it sometimes. I think at this point, we've seen all ends of the spectrum. Like, we've had reviews that like stab in the heart where it's like, who the fuck would enjoy this piece of shit that just flopped hard? And then we've had people tell us that, like, one guy was like, this movie made me, if it didn't make me laugh so hard, I would have cried. And I wanted to like hand out copies to people on the streets and tell them how great it was. So it's pretty crazy for being as low level and underground as we are. I feel like we've seen the entire spectrum from this is a piece of crap, why did you make it, to this is, people have literally said it's one of their favorites now. Or I actually think the one guy I was mentioning said it is his favorite. So that to me tells us we did something right if we can kind of hit every reaction on the scale.
Yeah. I think like something that people tell me as an artist is like, not everyone's gonna love your shit anyway. Like, there will be some people who will, but there will also be, if there's someone that loves it, there's gonna be someone who hates it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think like the message of the movie overall fits like what we want to like accomplish with this podcast, because ultimately, like, what we want to encourage people to kind of just like live a fulfilling life, pursue creativity, or not necessarily have to make art per se, but just like do things that excite them and becoming their own person and not listening to what like others say. And I think like your movie kind of hit the nail on the head with that. Like, so I kind of want to ask, like are you guys making more movies? Or if not, like, I'm sure each one of you are like talented in your own right, and like, so like, what do you guys each do?
We love hearing that, because that's the exact reason we kind of made the movie. It was just, we were trying to get scripts out there for so long. We're like, fuck it, let's just make something. It's gonna just stagnate if you don't just get out there and make something bad or good. But yeah, we had another script that we were actually kind of set to shoot last May, and then the world ended, so we kind of had to put that in the back burner. But looking back, we weren't exactly happy with that script, and we were kind of wondering what the message was or what we were trying to say. As we're Bad CGI Sharks, we kind of knew what our message was about creativity and holding on to that. So we got a couple different ideas now, but it's still kind of just all in the air right now.
I think we're all kind of in the same position because of the pandemic. But Matthew's right that while initially it stung like hell to have this happen right as we were planning to go straight into movie number 2, I think begrudgingly I'll admit
meant to be a sequel, or
No,
people have, well, actually it's funny because eventually I was like beating them over the head with wanting to do a sequel, but then I was like, let's divert from that. And I think in the end, like you said, we didn't find the real heart behind it. So it's possible, had the pandemic not happened, as much as it almost pains me to admit this, that it is a silver lining, because I don't think the script was ready. And I feel like we need time to define more what the fact that you could say, hey, I think this is what the heart and your message of your movie is, lets me know how much we succeeded with this one and how we need to make sure to have that going forward. Because if we were in a position to make movies constantly, if we were successful in the industry, if we actually had the finances, I'd be more willing to, I don't want to put it as take risks, but like I feel like we gave Sharks a shot at longevity by putting our heart into it. So I feel like everything I do with the guys now, I'm going to want to try to locate the heart first, then put the jokes and stupidity on top of it, because I think that's how you ideally get it to stick with people.
Now, were you two like big shark movie fans, like when you were kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
The opening credit sequence, which is all Matthew's brainchild, is pretty much indicative of what we did as kids. Yeah. Me and Matthew would spend endless hours doing what, in retrospect, kind of seemed like improv classes, but with action figures in our hands, because it wasn't just like boom, boom, smash. It was like there's actual developing plot lines. Like we would have like, okay, me and Matthew would be like, Tuesday night, we're going to film, like the gang is going to go to the restaurant. This is going to happen. And we'd actually like act them out. It seems a little psychotic in retrospect, but like everything that you guys see in the credits with all the little shark fighting is pretty much what we grew up doing. And that's Matthew's wheelhouse of creating and sculpting those type of dioramas. Yeah, Matthew, you talked about that.
I mean, yeah, we're always a huge fans of monster movies and shark movies. I remember, I think Deep Blue Sea was probably I remember seeing that in theaters when we were kids and loving that, and always playing in the pool with the inflatable, the sharks and the giant gators and the Jurassic Park characters, and just always acting out these elaborate scenarios, which pretty much was kind of a preface to writing and to kind of creating these adventures that we would just sometimes span weeks following the storylines. So I think that definitely kind of set us up for what we wanted to ultimately do, was to at least tell stories in some facet.
That's amazing. I feel like just hearing your story now, like through this podcast and like watching the movie earlier today, in a way that movie was like almost like a true story.
Yeah.
Almost like without the character exaggerations and shit like that, but like it was about two kids who like wanted to make a shark movie when they were kids and they never got around to it. So they kind of in some way like made it at the end. They made the movie. And that's exactly what you two did.
It's very important to also note that the character of Bernardo, while seemingly goofy, the way he comes in and helps the brothers to actually achieve the dream, I don't know if me and Matthew could have ever in a million years achieved this without meeting Mateo, who
we wouldn't have.
We would have not. Yeah, actually, let's take out the probably. We're creatively brained, but we're lazy idiots.
We smoking blood on the couch watching cartoons.
Mateo was very much a big brother that came in and helped us, and he won't admit this, but he's already been famous in Italy. He was massively successful overseas. He has 3 Italian Emmys. He was on the Italian version of Saturday Night Live at age 21. But
breaking up, Jason. Breaking up.
I was going to segue into that, and not like I knew all the details. I was actually going to ask Mateo
Then don't.
Where his expertise had came from and how it applied to the movie and what he had done before. But I see you spilled the beads, Jason. So
if I don't say it, he's not going to bring it up. He's too modest. So make him embarrassed. Ask him about it.
All right, we must know, Mateo. Tell us more.
I can tell you this. I'm the only one of this group of 6 who has seen Jaws in a movie theater when it came out. I'm coming from an era where everything was in black and white. And that's the thing. I'm incredibly old. I am I can say I am Star Trek old, because me and Star Trek were born on in the same year. Yeah, and then the short version of my story is I was born 54 years ago, and here I am. That's pretty much it.
And somewhere along the line, you won 3 Italian Emmys. I'll take that as a guess.
Timing. I was in a place where I say, "Oh, we have one more. Do you want it?" Sure. I wrote for some Italian TV shows, and we get lucky to win Emmys. I mean, the Italian Emmys, which are, well, let me show you.
Show them the golden pussies.
Yes.
That joke in a second.
You said apply the pressure, Shoes. I did
believe me, he doesn't like talking about it.
This is This is a golden pussy. It has a T and a V on the face for some
What does that stand for?
I'm sorry?
What does that stand for?
TV?
Makes sense.
Well, that joke fell flat.
Yeah, that's it. It's a good.
I want to pause here and say it's hysterical how the dynamic in our group is that the one who is by far has achieved the most is the most quiet and modest, and then my nonstop, loud mouth, irritating ass has done like jack shit except for Sharks that wants to blah 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 all the time.
Hey, don't discredit yourself.
It's like, whatever. I didn't. There's nothing. I don't fuck these accomplishments.
Hey, don't discredit yourself. You're the champion of juggling groceries at Ralph's.
That's very true. Hey, not just Ralph's, man. I got fucking Stop and Shop in Wegmans back east. I did fucking Safeway. I did Whole Foods. I did John's Marketplace. I got 20 years balls deep in the grocery cashier game.
Oh my God, did you put your balls in my stuff?
Absolutely. Every chance I got.
Okay, that's good. It's almost like sex.
That close. Also that big.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so yeah, I mean okay.
How do we segue from these awkward sex jokes?
Make more.
Yeah. I think we just need to fill the rest of it with those. We'll be all set.
That's fantastic.
All right. I feel like I've been asking a lot. Keith, do you have any questions for these guys?
You stole all my questions, Sheen. So thank you for that.
Make new ones.
You can just make your own dick jokes too, man.
Oh God.
No, yeah. There's one thing that we failed to mention probably, and it's related to making the movie ourselves, is that we, if you read the first 2 incarnation and then this one, we aimed incredibly low in terms of realization. We did not, the first, because when you're writing, you don't need a budget. You have a ream of paper and a pen or a computer, whatever you're using. So you just say go. And then you start to say, how are we going to do this stuff? So we started to scale it down in a way that, because we didn't want to make a movie. Originally, the very first idea was to shoot the movie ourselves, literally the 3 of us, and me trying to making Sharks with a horrible software I got, and I never was able to make it work. But so we started to just like go low and everything in order to do something that has also the look of a movie, or at least something like that. Not because we've seen a lot of too many movies that are just like shot. I don't say with iPhones or something, but close to that. And then
you can make a good movie with an iPhone. They just aim like, we've got an iPhone and we're going to have like Michael Bay level explosions, and it's like, dude, you're not gonna.
The first 2 movies were just like something. Imagine Titanic with a bigger budget, and then a miracle happened. The planet aligned, and 2 friends of mine stumbled here in the US looking for a project to showcase what they could do. And one of them as a wonderful director of photography and a computer whiz, and the other one is a composer, as a sound mixer and everything. And so, as to quote Jerry Maguire, "Show me the money." No, you complete me, and they completed us.
Absolutely.
They were the missing link, and Sheila Marie, who was also the other missing link, because Sheila Marie is a former colleague of mine from Universal Studios, and she's a producer, and she knows a lot of actors who were very good, incredibly game, and free.
Yeah.
So
and willing to work for free, most importantly.
Yes, and most of that. And so we had also this incredible set of circumstances that allow us to a degree, it took a lot of the weight from our shoulders, because knowing to have a competent cameraman, a competent sound design and everything, it allows us to be a little more free on the set and not having also part of your brain thinking, okay, is it good or something like that and everything.
Right, yeah.
So that helped immensely. But and also, which is one of the reasons why the budget is so low, is that Emilio and Alessandro, our two cameramen and sound guy, but much more than that, they did own already the equipment. Yes. So they came with their camera. We didn't have to rent anything. We were self-contained in terms of because we bought about $400 in a new microphone and a couple of gels and stuff like that. But pretty much we had everything. But there was also an interesting thing that it was kind of like a bet, trying to make a movie that is professionally, as much as professionally looking as possible, that is not completely incoherent, and that hopefully kind of like works. And apparently, from what you very kindly told us earlier, it does work. But that was also the most important thing, to see if it's possible to do something that is not completely crap, and for which we don't lose our self-esteem and our dignity completely, just a little.
They're already long gone.
Yes, yeah. Mine has been surgically removed when I turned 40, so I don't have any self-esteem whatsoever.
Speaking of which, the bad CGI sharks themselves, how'd you get those done? Because I know that's had to cost a little bit out of the budget, just a little bit.
Yeah, luckily, once again, Alessandro was able to do everything. We had really talented friends who really wanted to kind of showcase what they could do too, and were willing to work for free. That was all Ali pretty much working for a year and a half, 2 years almost, just doing every bit of CGI himself, painstakingly taking our notes, taking what we wanted to see into account, and just one dude working on every single digital shot you see in the movie. So while we had some influence on how we wanted to design the characters, how we wanted to use them, Ali was completely our godsend for getting these things on screen.
To be fair, you did design them, Matthew. Much as I want to give Ali all the credit in the world, you did design the bad CGI Sharks.
Matthew was Matthew was the creator, and Alessandro gave them life.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
how did the filming go for that? Like that, for example, like that scene where, like the shark is talking to that girl at the office. Like what is she like when you're filming that? Like what is she actually talking to? Like,
she was very good. That's the thing. We couldn't even afford a tennis ball for her to look at it.
Yeah, usually there's some kind of point, be like, okay, this is where the creature will be, but we shot like 10 scenes all in one day in this little studio, so we were just kind of flying through. But Jen was
when we shot that specific scene, we were lucky enough that Sean Landry, who does she is the boss of Matthew in the movie as well as the voice of the shark, she hung around in the office to shoot that scene, so at least Jen was reacting to an actual dialogue. It was occurring a dialogue. We would have replaced it later on, but
and they're both very funny.
And they're both
really well. Yeah,
it helped to have. Well, the funny thing is, Jen, the actress who plays Amy, Matthew's love interest, and the girl at the computer. She was still literally looking at nothing. Kudos to her. But at least Sean was in the background to verbally bounce dialogue, so that there was a sense of natural ebb and flow, as opposed to just the staticness of react to nothing. But still, she was looking at literally nothing. And one of the best compliments we got was a buddy of mine. When he saw it, he was like, "I just buy that she's talking to the shark, man. It's not weird. Like, I just believe that she's sitting there talking to a shark."
Yeah.
What about the shark voices?
Ah, yes. How could we forget our buddy, who X is also friends with, Rennie? Matthew Rinnigan Warren did he did Blue Shark and Red Shark, and I did Idiot Shark because I'm so good at being fucking
Purple
stupid.
shark, man.
What's up?
Purple.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. No one in the world thinks that's fucking purple, dude. You
It's
could go
close to
around the room
purple,
and
it's
take a
the blue.
fucking survey. No one's going to think that's purple.
You know what Matteo actually like mentioned though, and I think you guys all touched upon it, where it was like, this is something I wanted to bring up earlier when I was watching the movies. Like, I feel like nowadays people, any type of content creator, they kind of make excuses and they're like, I'm not gonna make this music video. I want to, but I'm not gonna do it because I don't have the right equipment. I don't have a camera. I don't have like a this or that. I don't have money. Or same, and you guys are like movie makers, but like me personally, like I use this to film my music videos, and it works very well. It's it's an iPhone, but it also shoots in 4K, right?
Yeah.
And like, sure, it might not be like, like Eminem quality music videos, but it gets the job done, and people like it. And same thing with like what you guys do, where it's what you got, like what you guys worked with $6,000 and it got the job done. I feel like unfortunately a lot of content creators just back away. They're like, nah.
Nowadays, yes, there was I think there was a few years back, 2 or 3 years back, or maybe 100, I don't know. But Ridley Scott, famed director of Alien and Hannibal and other stuff, he said it. Nowadays, you don't have an excuse anymore. Everybody has a computer or an iPhone and everything. If you want to make a movie and you don't, it's just because you're lazy,
right,
or you're not interested in doing that.
Doing is everything. Doing is so much,
But if you think about it, even for instance, one of the most common low-budget movies and everything, Evil Dead. Sam Raimi made it for I don't remember, but it was, and if you watch, in fact, Evil Dead 2 is pretty much Evil Dead with a budget. Is they did what they couldn't do in the first one, but despite all of that and the limitation of doing, it shows the passion, the talent, the craft, and everything, which is exactly what we were trying to do. We didn't want just like to do a movie. We keep seeing a lot of movies of people talking for 3 minutes with the camera that just like guesses to frame who is gonna talk next, so it floats to a guy or to. You can do edit. Almost every single. I think that even the iPhones have an edit, has an edit program or something like that, and everything. So you can do 2 shots that makes it even more dynamic. And
right.
You just gotta make it. It's not gonna be perfect. Just make something. Even just putting yourself out there, you'll feel a million times better, and you'll just start get the ball rolling and get better and better and better. It's never gonna be a perfect product until you start making it.
And also, you see if you actually if you like it, because I know a lot of people who say, "Oh my God, this is a horrible job to get to the final product, the whole thing. It's a nightmare." So they avoid, and to see if you are actually any good. Because also the other thing that, which I think that is one of the biggest luck that we have, the three of us. We have passed the phase of trying to be ginger and not offend the other one. If one writes a joke, you say, "I don't like this joke," or "It doesn't work for me," and everything. We say,
especially Matthew. He loves saying that shit.
Yes, which is great because one of the biggest, and I've seen it back in Italy, especially, but also here. One of the greatest determined, or one of the greatest disservice that a person can do to a singer want to be, a director want to be, an actor want to be. It's just like shower him or her with praise, no matter what. You're great. That's fantastic. And because you give them a distort version of what they do, especially if they're not any good. You should just tell them, I like this, I didn't like this, or whatever.
Right.
Just
here's a gun, put it in here.
Yes. Yes.
That's why when he started rapping, I told him he sucked at first. I had to. It was good for you.
Well, actually, Keith was one of the most like supportive people in the beginning of my rap career, but there were people who weren't anywhere near as supportive as Keith. But I think like when it comes to that, I think there needs to be a balance of like praise and criticism, where like because if you're right, like if everyone's just praising you, you actually think that you just kind of build ego and then like a sense of entitlement. You're like, well, how come I'm not famous yet? I do not need to change, and I'm entitled to like success in this field.
Right.
Well, you bring up a good point, man, because why am I not famous yet?
I had it on my calendar.
It is a very good point.
Yeah.
And I was joking, but like one of the biggest pluses we have is that my brother me and Mateo always joke, he's always going to be miserable. He's always going to be unhappy with it, but he pushes us to try and do the best possible version, because he's going to be like, I don't like that. I don't think that works. And like Mateo has spent such a lifetime obsessing over movies that he's all about the language. So like, I remember the scene where all of us running the first time to see Amy in the office, and we're trying to tell her like, oh my God, there's a shark after us. That was probably the longest continuous scene we have, like 6 minutes. I remember Mateo was like, I want to make sure that Matthew's emotional, it was the right emotional core for it, that Matthew was most concerned about Amy, and that the scene, because there were so many different jokes going off, he was like, I really want to make sure we stay on the emotional core of the scene because it's so long. So between the two of them, I feel really good that, like you said, someone is going to be like, I don't think this is going to work, or I think this is going to be better. And I know that really helped, especially someone like me who's so enthusiastic and like just chomping at the chain and fucking firing off to go. It helps to have someone be like, wait, but what if this? And I know that the interplay probably 1000% helped to be the best thing it could be, of people pushing and pulling and being like, I'm not so sure I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the luck of also being a trio is also that you, because when you write by yourself, you may write great jokes. I don't dispute there are people who are, Neil Simon, Woody Allen, and there are a bunch of singular individuals who wrote amazing jokes, and Emo Phillips. But for us, we're still shaping both our humor, and for me, that is in a different language, even from my original one. So it's even more complicated. That's why I'm more on the visual one of the three, because I know that if you do a visual gag, it usually is universally understood, whereas a joke may be, or either you can't translate it or it becomes difficult. But it's nice, the instant confrontation. You make a joke, you see if it lands or not, or if it hits the right note of the group. Because sometimes there may be jokes that we like, but they don't fit with our chemistry. And so it's nice to have that almost immediate confrontation. Say, oh, you wrote this. Oh, I don't like it. What about this instead, or that? So we just like we try to work and chisel to get to the best result possible for our means, at least. So,
and that's actually a great point I forgot to bring up, which I think is a massive strength of the group, is that me and Matthew, coming from New Jersey, we're very much bred on like the Kevin Smith rapid dialogue. Like, I always laugh because if you read a script by me or Matthew, there's going to be chunks of dialogue like this long on the page. And Mateo, both being obsessed with the old school comedy and also, like I said, loving cinema so much, it really must be said that he brings a visual eye to it. And I feel like me and Matthew just go for dialogue. There's a lot of things in the movie that paid attention to visually. That's because of him. And that's personally one of my favorite things about the trio coming together, is that I think me and Matthew need to learn to think more visually. I think that was a good learning process of Sharks, is like, it's a movie, it's a visual medium. And Mateo's eye for that kind of helps us to train to look more for that, as well as kind of pushing and pulling, because Matthew will come in like with the verbal dialogue and Mateo's like what would look funny. So I think that that's a massive strength, especially in the art of cinema, like I said, which you need to get used to being such a visual medium.
I think when it comes,
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I think when it comes to making any type of art, I don't know, collaboration and having like a kind of like a small little team is just so beneficial. And one of my friends used to say, like, making music or making movies, even, like, it's in a way it's kind of like cooking, right? Like, you can make like a base, you can make like pizza. You take you take the bread and put maybe a little bit of cheese on it, but like it's kind of missing flavor, right? So there are people who know how to put the bread and cheese together, but there are also people who know how to put whatever kind of things you like on it.
Shaheen, we're from Connecticut. We have the best pizza in the world, and you're gonna mess this up, really?
We're all about East Coast pizza being the best, man. Believe me, we're now.
Yeah, I still have to try New Jersey pizza. I've heard it's great too, but I haven't had it yet.
I'm Italian. We invented it.
Yeah.
As soon as he started with the pizza metaphor, I'm like, you're talking our language.
Yes.
But your pizza is missing condiments. It's basic pizza. No, I'm serious. Like, people think that like pizza from Italy is like full of the stuff that we have over here. No. It's very it's tasty, but it's very basic.
Yes, because in Italy we like, if we say this thing has tomatoes, you want to taste the tomatoes. You don't want to taste the 24 other things and eventually tomatoes. Just like that's the idea. But it's I think it was Terry Gilliam from Monty Python fame and in his own right. I think he said that making a movie is like having 100 people holding a brush, a gigantic brush, and helping you making a painting on a canvas this big, which is true, because everything has to work towards what eventually winds up on the screen. We were also lucky that having a crew that, when it was a full crew, we were 6 of us.
Yeah.
So
most nights 5, because the night shoots, Sheila wasn't even there.
Yes. So we were 5, 1 car, we were fine. Only the time that we had Josh in the movie that was tough, because.
By the way, Josh was great.
Oh, we love Josh.
Josh is fantastic.
Funny, I actually, Mateo invited both me and Mr. Josh Sterling. I hadn't met him before, and he invited both of us to a Weird Al concert. And true story, like love at first sight, I saw that kid's big ass smile, and I couldn't even focus the rest of the night, because I was like, holy shit, dude, I need to put you as a character in something. And I did.
Wait, was he the character that was like
He's the neighbor.
Yeah, he made like some sort of vagina joke, and then like Jason was like, "Oh, I always wanted to see a vagina."
That's exactly right.
That's the level of the humor.
I appreciate dark humor like that. It's great. So, before we wrap it up, is there anything like you three want to like tell our audience? Like any message that you guys want to get across?
Buy our movie.
Or plug anything that you're working on, upcoming, whatever.
I think
sadly we're trying to get back at it, but we haven't even seen each other in I think a month at this point. There's more coming. We just have no idea.
By that we mean suicide.
Yes, I'm writing currently my suicide note. I want to give his ass. But I here I said it, and here I confirm it. When I die, I want to be cremated, and my suit has to be filled with fireworks and popcorn. I want to go with a bang, and that's one of the best way I can think of.
As long as I get to light you on fire, my friend.
By all means, wait for me to be dead, and then
the premiere and the damn. At the premiere and the damn signing, I can confirm your love for popcorn.
Yes.
I came on with armfuls of it.
Yes,
that's very true. I forgot about that. As far as the message, man, I think when, like I said, again, what you said earlier about the movie, the fact that you took that away from it is amazing. And shockingly, we have actually had a couple of people say, like, this is inspiring. As much as all three of us are goofballs who pretty much live to make people laugh, if even one human being on earth could watch this and be like, I think I might want to do something. I think we put it in the credits.
Yep.
Like, we were inspired by watching endless movies in Mateo's living room. So if even one person actually gets the tiniest bit of inspiration, like I said, I love artistic people more than I love regular humans. I think we should kill all the humans and just have artists. I feed off their energy. I adore them. People like X who are still going at it. People like Mateo who are still going at it in my life. They really fucking help. So as far as the audience, if you guys say you're trying to do a podcast that encourages people to do what they love, I think the message here has been blissfully received.
Yeah. And also stay humble. That's probably I mean, we made a movie. We were lucky. It came out fairly decent. Okay. That's it. I mean, it's not that we're saying, oh my God, now, who are you, a podcast? Never. No.
Yeah.
Like,
Where can they buy the movie? I know that people can stream it obviously for free on Tubi. But for people who actually want to support your art and put money in your pockets, so you can
there is well, of course, Amazon has it. SRS Cinema.
Actually, I think, Mateo, I just checked. I think SRS is actually sold out. But SRS,
not about the apparel.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. SRScinemastore.com, our beautiful label that picked us up. We have over 16 different bad CGI Shark t-shirts designs. We got tank tops for the ladies. We got neck gaiters if you want to protect yourself against the COVID. But as he said, if you want to buy the movie, Amazon has it. Probably the cheapest because Emperor Bezos rules everything.
Yeah.
And then I think Best Buy, Barnes and Noble, Target.
And of course, Dark Delicacies in Burbank still has, I think it's 3 copies signed by the cast. So once again,
which actually decreases the value.
Yes, I may die. I may die soon. You never know.
Oh God.
Maybe I gotta go buy the 2 of those 3 and then ship them to Sheem and Keith.
Yeah.
You buy 2 of those 3 and then you come home and you strangle me. Like I say, there you go. Happy now?
Oh
man. All right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you guys coming on to this podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, and thank you for making the movie. And I want to encourage you to just keep making movies or whatever it is you guys want to do outside of movies. So
thank you, man.
Jason, I did hear some of your tracks. I did enjoy it.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
we'll have him back on for a solo interview at some point.
Oh, shit! You know I love to talk, man.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that?
No, honestly, this is like X is a good buddy of mine, so I would have done this no matter what. But I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I've been just like the rest of us, locked away, feeling, positively nutty. And I probably feel more uppity and alive sitting here shooting the shit with you guys than I have in a good number of months. So I'm sure I speak for all the guys when I say we do appreciate the chance to come on and blah, blah, blah about this.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Of course. And again, like your art gives people value, right? So again, like, thank you. Like, it inspired me. I'm 27, and so sometimes, like, even me, like, I'm like, fuck, am I getting too old for this? And like seeing you guys like make this movie and just having so much fun with it and giving value to people, like, it did inspire me. Like, okay, I can keep doing what I do, right? So yeah, like,
I'm 54 and I just interviewed a CGI shark.
You can reach the top.
Living the dream.
Yes, living the nightmare.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I hope there's a sequel. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. So do we.
All right. And I did note that there was a rap song at the end, right? Was that you, Jason?
That's Jason. Yeah,
that's me. That's me. You pretty much know that any shark movie has to have an obligatory rap song over the closing credits.
Oh shit, man. All right, guys. Once again, thank you for coming on, and to everyone else, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
I
guys.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you for
guys.
being on. Thanks.